transformation of Spider-Man into a horrifying demon, the genocide of non-humans orchestrated by mutants, and the most abhorrent wedding in comic history, along with the destruction of the Ultimate Universe. You can learn all about this story from the upcoming video. First and foremost, let's start with the bonus part and talk about the horrifying and epic tale that will be the main focus of this video. I want to share a story with you that deeply shocked me when I was a child reading the Ultimate Spider-Man comic. In this version, Black Cat falls in love with Peter Parker and decides to play with him by unmasking him on the rooftop when she sees the face of a schoolboy under the mask, who had already prepared for a kiss. She is shocked. This moment shook me, and the whole atmosphere of the comic. All the belief in something beautiful vanished, just like in me as a child. This scene was truly terrifying and sad. Please write in the comments if you agree with this. Mutants in Marvel Comics have always been portrayed as an oppressed minority, and under this pretext, superhumans, telepaths, and heroes whose skin turned into metal fought for the rights of black women and minority representatives. So, when the law legalizing same-sex marriages was passed in New York, many superheroes supported this initiative. For instance, a Bright Rainbow Day was organized, where people gathered to marry the character Jean-Paul Bubia, also known as Northstar, to his beloved Kyle Genadu. This act of tolerance and support for the progressive movement was met with admiration, and even crimes came to a halt. The chief editor of Marvel promised to make this story one of the main events for their publication, speculating about the potential impact of the union between Northstar and Kyle. However, the reaction from fans was mixed. Some welcomed the modern perspective of having superheroes marry partners of the same sex, but many criticized the issue for blatant propaganda and being contrived, arguing that comics should not be a platform for politics. Now, after 8 years, nobody pays attention to those same-sex flirtations from that time. I hope that Marvel has learned a lesson from this story and will continue to create comics that respect their audience and promote tolerance, without delving into overly straightforward and one-sided propaganda. The Ultimate Universe was initially geared towards a younger audience, but it was a place of cruelty and ruthlessness. The creators held nothing back, killing off characters left and right. They even made Scarlet Witch a lover of her own brother. However, these were minor compared to the events of Ultimatum, which nearly led to the destruction of the entire universe to avenge the death of his children. Magneto decides to shift the Earth's poles, causing a series of irreversible cataclysms all over the planet. Enormous tsunamis nearly flooded New York. People turned into ice statues, buried under snow. Furthermore, the freed demon Dormammu invades Earth. The heroes try to stop the destruction, but one by one, they suffer defeat. Professor X, Wolverine, Cyclops, and many others die in the process. At the last moment, Nick Fury manages to appeal to Magneto's reason and convinces him to restore the poles to their original positions. But even after stopping the apocalypse, Magneto returns to his old ways, and the heroes can't go back to their previous state. Let's not forget that in the Ultimate Universe, Thor and the son of Wolverine and the Hulk led a whole uprising. All in all, the multiverse is something insane and exciting. In Marvel Comics, there is sometimes a noticeable tendency to dislike mutants. They often face a manic desire to destroy or disable them. The government creates watchdogs to eliminate them, and a whole which goes insane and robs mutants of their abilities. One such example is the comic titled The Massacre, where a villain destroys the X-Men team, and numerous attacks almost lead to the extinction of mutants. This results in Angel losing his silver wings, Magneto losing control of his body and becoming just a shadow of his former self. However, it is worth noting that in the world of comics, situations can change, and mutants can also commit genocide or be in conflict with other races. An example of this is when mutants themselves almost caused genocide against Inhumans due to the Terrigen Mist, which awakened abilities in non-mutants but proved dangerous to mutants. Overall, the Marvel Comics world is filled with complex plots and characters, often presenting diverse situations. including clashes and conflicts between different groups of superheroes and villains. This makes it exciting and captivating, but it can also evoke various emotions in readers. The Last Hunt of Kraven is a compelling storyline in the world of Spider-Man comics. Among the many enemies of Spider-Man, Kraven may not be the most powerful, as his abilities only slightly surpass those of a regular human. He lacks flashy gadgets or a stylish alien costume, which makes him less visually striking compared to some other supervillains. However, Kraven remains a cult classic villain in the comics and remains an interesting character. He becomes particularly captivating in the story titled The Last Hunt. The plot starts as a standard hunt for Spider-Man, and Kraven manages to shoot and bury the web slinger alive. As the plot unfolds, things become more eerie and unusual. When Spider-Man manages to escape and confront the villain, Kraven reveals that he is terminally ill and his days are numbered. He wants to prove to himself that he is stronger than his archenemy, Spider-Man. He willingly points a shotgun at his own head and bids farewell to Parker. This storyline adds depth to Kraven's character, making him more than just a typical villain. It also evokes strong emotions among comic book fans, making it one of the most memorable and impactful Spider-Man stories of all time. Initially, the Skrulls posed a massive threat to Earth and the Avengers, but over time, their attacks became less frequent, and the superheroes were occupied with other tasks, such as exploring other dimensions and trying to stop Thanos. Decades passed, and even the Avengers disbanded. However, it seemed like the Skrulls, also known as the Proshals, disappeared from the comics. In reality, they were just cleverly hiding. It turned out that one of them had been on Earth in disguise all along. And when this was discovered, everything fell apart. When the Skrulls returned and launched a full-scale invasion, they infiltrated key positions on the planet, seeking to rule over humanity. They aimed to capture humans and establish their own order. This event led to a new era in the comics, known as the Dark Reign. The Dark Reign became a major turning point, altering the lives of the heroes and changing the course of their stories. The comics were forever changed, and the Skrulls became one of the most dangerous and memorable enemies of Marvel's superheroes. Everything became more complex, and questions regarding trust and loyalty became more relevant for all the characters. Matt Murdock, also known as Daredevil, is a righteous and noble hero, strongly motivated to eradicate crime and protect the innocent. His faith and conviction as a Catholic help him resist temptations and sins. However, due to the Skrull invasion of Earth and subsequent events, Daredevil found himself in the clutches of the devil himself, taking control of a criminal organization and declaring himself the new ruler. Gradually, the ancient demon began to take control of his mind, and Matt committed a crime, destroying a residential building. Nevertheless, Daredevil found the strength to return to New York, kill his longtime enemy, and establish a new stronghold on the ruins known as Shadowland. Superheroes attempted to help him, but it was too late, and he fell under the control of demons, transforming into a terrifying entity. However, his friend Iron Fist managed to expel the demons from his body and save Matt. After all that happened, Matt Murdock decided to leave New York and departed from the city. This event evidently became a turning point for him, completely altering his life and his path as a superhero. The film Avengers Age of Ultron indeed elicited various reactions from audiences, including comic book fans. Some were thrilled with the continuation of their favorite franchise's story, while others, familiar with the comics, felt disappointed. In the comics, the Age of Ultron storyline took a completely different turn. There, an army of cyborgs led by Ultron took control of the Earth and mercilessly destroyed the superheroes. New York was devastated, and many Avengers perished in battle. Only a few survived, and those who remained tried to survive, hiding from robot patrols. Wolverine traveled back in time to warn Hank Pym and help him plant a virus in Ultron that would destroy him in the future and save humanity. However, in the film Avengers Age of Ultron, The story was altered and adapted for the cinematic format. The film's plot focused on Ultron's creation, his conflict with the Avengers, and the introduction of new characters. As with comic book adaptations, the movie may not fully adhere to the original storyline to suit the movie-going audience and provide a unique viewing experience. You are absolutely right. In the past, comic books often depicted a clear division between superheroes and supervillains. Heroes represented good and fought for justice, while villains were evil and sought to defeat the heroes. Usually, the heroes emerged victorious in the end, and good always triumphed. However, over time, the line between good and evil began to blur, and characters became more complex and multi-dimensional. Heroes could turn into villains, and villains could switch sides and become allies of good after experiencing changes or personal growth. This led to conflicts within the superhero community, including the Civil War in Marvel Comics, where heroes divided into the sides and fought against each other. Such wars and conflicts have profound consequences and leave an indelible mark in Marvel's history. During these events, many superheroes die or undergo significant changes. These conflicts make the characters more realistic and interesting, as they grapple with difficult moral choices and different points of view. As you correctly pointed out, in the future, we are likely to see new conflicts and wars among superheroes and their allies. This allows for the development of stories and characters, making comics even more engaging and memorable. Original Sin is a story about the Watchers from the Marvel Universe. Mysterious beings that observe events throughout the universe but do not interfere in them. The Watchers have witnessed key moments and cataclysms occurring on Earth and elsewhere. In Marvel Comics, the Watchers have always been passive observers and do not interfere in the course of events. However, the events they observe can have significant implications for the universe. Sometimes their presence foreshadowed an approaching crisis or cataclysm. Once, the Avengers discovered the corpse of a Watcher, and it turned out that Nick Fury was the one who killed him. He saw himself as the defender of Earth, preventing potential threats, but he was later punished by other Watchers, transforming into a cosmic entity and losing the ability to intervene in events. The theme of the Watchers and their role in the Marvel Universe has always been intriguing and mysterious, adding depth and intrigue to the comics. However, each storyline in Marvel can be unique and have different interpretations, depending on how the authors and artists develop it. I'd like to remind you about one of the most horrifying stories about Hulk called Van. All life on Earth, except for disgusting parasites, perished, leaving only the Green Giant. In this story, we witness the dreadful torment of Bruce Banner, who has long wanted to retire, but the Hulk won't let him, managing to regenerate even after being attacked by mutated locusts. This Hulk story is truly significant and touching. This was a rating of the most shocking stories from the Marvel world. Did you know about them? Which storylines from the comics shook you the most? Which adaptations of them are you looking forward to? Write your thoughts in the comments. Of course, these are not all the shocking events from Marvel's history. If you want another part, let me know in the comments. As always, your presenter was here. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.